We've been married 23 years. 2 kids grown now. And until a few months ago, I thought we were solid. Not perfect, but solid. The kind of couple that knew each other so well we could finish each other's sentences. My name's Daniel, and my wife's Laura. She told me she was going to Orlando for a medical conference. 3 days. Flight on Thursday morning, back Sunday night. I even dropped her off at the airport, gave her a kiss goodbye, and watched her disappear through TSA like I had dozens of times before. There wasn't even a flicker of suspicion in my mind at the time. But that weekend, something felt off. Our daughter, Emma, had just graduated college. Our son, Josh, was in his second year. With both of them out of the house, the place was quiet. Too quiet. I kept telling myself I'd enjoy the space, maybe catch up on a book, watch a game in peace. But I didn't. I kept checking the clock, checking my phone. She wasn't texting like she usually did. Just a quick, made it, when she landed. Then, a photo of a hotel room that looked like it was taken from a travel site. No selfie. No miss you. Just that generic picture. The second night, I called her around 9 p.m. It rang once. Straight to voicemail. She texted me 20 minutes later. At dinner with colleagues. Couldn't hear the phone. Okay. That's when my gut started telling me something wasn't right. She used to tell me names. Had lunch with Kathy, or Dr. Lanford won't shut up again. Now it was just colleagues. Cold. Vague. Sunday came. Her flight was delayed. She didn't walk through our front door until after midnight. I was waiting. She looked tired, more than just jet lag. Her voice was soft, careful. Long weekend, Laura said, setting her bag down. She gave me a hug. No kiss. Just a hug. Then she said she needed a shower and walked straight to the bathroom. That was the first time in my life I touched her phone. She left it on the nightstand. I didn't even think twice. I picked it up and opened it. I didn't need a password. She never had one. I guess she didn't think she needed to. I saw a text thread with someone saved as T. No last name. Just T. My heart dropped. Her messages to him weren't sexual. But they didn't have to be. I missed your voice already. Still thinking about last night. I've never done that before. You made me feel wanted. That wasn't a coworker. That wasn't small talk. And when I scrolled back, the thread didn't start last week, or even last month. It went back to February, spread out careful, like they didn't want to raise any red flags. And then I saw it. A selfie. Laura, standing in a hotel bathroom, wrapped in a white towel. Slight smirk on her face. No caption. Sent Friday night, 11:14 p.m. The exact time she told me she was already in bed, watching HGTV. I stared at that image until my eyes burned. And I realized I didn't know my wife anymore. The next morning, I didn't go to work. I sat in the kitchen with a mug of coffee that went cold before I ever took a sip. I just kept replaying those messages in my head. Her towel photo. The way she smiled in it. Not like the smile she gives me. Different. Flirty. Like she wanted whoever T was to imagine what was under the towel. Laura came downstairs around 8:30. Her hair was damp. She was wearing a hoodie and leggings, comfortable, casual, like any normal day. Hey, she said. Did you sleep? I nodded. Didn't say anything. Just watched her. She went to the fridge and pulled out almond milk. Started making her usual smoothie. Like nothing had happened. Like everything was fine. That's when I said it. Who's T? Her hand froze on the blender. She didn't turn around right away. When she finally did, her face was blank, but only for a second. Then it cracked. Not panic. Not guilt. Just fear. The kind you get when you know the game is over. What? I repeated it. Slower this time. Who is T? She didn't answer. Just stared at me, holding that carton of almond milk like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. So I told her, I saw your phone. I saw the messages. And the picture. So don't lie. She set the milk down, walked to the table, sat across from me like we were about to talk about bills or vacation plans. His name is Tom, she said. And just like that, the name had a face. Tom. I asked, how long? She hesitated. I watched her weigh the answer. Not to decide what was true, she already knew that. She was calculating how much truth I could handle. Not long, she said. I stared at her. Nothing in my face. I just wanted her to keep talking. We met at the conference last year. San Diego. He's a radiologist. I didn't ask what he looked like. I didn't care. I just asked again, this time sharper. How long? She looked down. Since January. That was 8 months ago. 8 months. While I was fixing the sink, mowing the lawn, folding her laundry, she was texting another man and flying to conferences to sleep with him. I asked her the only question that mattered to me in that moment. Did you love him? Laura didn't answer right away, but her silence did more damage than anything she could have said. Eventually, she shook her head. It wasn't like that, but I knew better. You don't send pictures and towels to someone you don't love a little, or at least one in a way that cuts deep. She reached across the table for my hand. I didn't move. I didn't mean for it to happen, she whispered. I was lonely. I didn't feel seen. You've been distant, Daniel. That's when I stood up, because now it was my fault. Of course. I didn't say anything else that morning. I left the house, drove with no destination, just needed to feel the road under me. I ended up parked in front of the grocery store where Laura and I used to shop every Sunday morning. Funny how something that simple suddenly feels foreign, like it belonged to someone else's life. I sat in that car for 2 hours. Then I made a list, not on paper, just in my head. A list of all the things I didn't know about my wife. I didn't know she'd been texting someone else while sitting next to me on the couch. I didn't know that when she said she was staying late for charts, she was really sending photos from her office bathroom. I didn't know that when she laughed at a text, it wasn't from Emma or her sister. I didn't know how many conferences weren't real, or how many times she stayed at hotels alone when I thought she was with colleagues. I didn't know she was capable of lying that easily. I didn't know she had it in her to look me in the eye and tell me she missed me after being with him. I also didn't know what to do next. Do I tell the kids? Do I call a lawyer? Do I forgive her? I didn't even know if I wanted to hear the rest of the truth, or if hearing it would just break something in me that couldn't be put back together. By the time I came home, it was almost dark. Laura was sitting on the porch, like she used to when she waited for me after work. She stood when I pulled in, but I didn't say anything, just walked past her, into the house. I went to our bedroom. She followed. Daniel, she said softly, please, just talk to me. I sat on the edge of the bed, didn't look at her. How many times? I asked. She didn't pretend not to understand. 3, she said. I shook my head. No, the real number. She hesitated, then said, 5. Then after a pause, added, maybe 6. Over 3 trips. The second one was kind of a mistake. I didn't mean to. I raised my hand to stop her. I didn't want the details. I didn't want to picture it. I stood up and walked to the closet. She asked, what are you doing? I pulled out the overnight bag I keep for short business trips. I need space. Her eyes went glossy. You're leaving. I don't know what I'm doing, I said, but I can't sleep next to you tonight. She didn't try to stop me, didn't beg, just stood there, holding her own elbows like they were the only things holding her together. As I walked out of the house, she whispered something I'll never forget. I didn't think you'd ever find out. She wasn't sorry she did it. She was sorry I knew. I checked into a Holiday Inn just off the highway. It was nothing special, clean, quiet, and forgettable. Maybe that's why I chose it. I didn't want comfort. I wanted numb. The room had 2 queen beds. I sat on the edge of one and just stared at the other. I imagined Laura in a room just like this one, laying in bed beside someone else, her hair on another pillow, her voice soft and low, telling him the same things she used to whisper to me. I couldn't get the images out of my head. That's the part no one prepares you for. It's not just the betrayal, it's the mental movie that plays every time you close your eyes. You start noticing things that never mattered before. Her new perfume, the way she suddenly started wearing matching underwear again, the extra time getting ready when she just wanted to feel pretty. At the time, I took it as a good sign. I thought we were reconnecting. Turns out, she was just rehearsing for someone else. Around midnight, I texted my daughter, Hey just wanted you to know I'm staying in a hotel tonight. Don't worry, just needed some space. Love you. She responded 5 minutes later. Everything okay with Mom? I didn't reply, because how do you answer that? I lay on the bed, fully dressed, phone in hand, staring at the ceiling, and I started thinking about the last 23 years. The vacations, the kids' soccer games, the nights we fell asleep on the couch watching movies we'd already seen. All those little, ordinary moments that felt sacred. And now? Now they felt contaminated. Like I'd been watching a movie my whole life and someone had just told me the ending was fake. The worst part was, I still missed her. Isn't that insane? I missed Laura. I missed my Laura. The one I thought I knew. The one who used to leave notes in my lunch when I worked overtime. The one who cried when Josh broke his arm and didn't leave his side at the ER. The woman who used to reach for my hand under the table at family dinners. Where did she go? And who was this version that could lie for 8 months and sleep next to me every night like nothing happened? I didn't sleep. I couldn't. At 5 a.m., I got in the car and drove to a diner 2 towns over. I drank coffee, ate eggs I didn't taste, and stared at the couple in the corner booth, late 60s, probably married 40 years. They shared a newspaper. She cut his pancakes for him. He wiped syrup from her lip with his napkin. I used to think Laura and I would be like that one day. But now? I wasn't even sure we'd make it to the weekend. I stayed at the hotel 2 more nights. Didn't tell anyone at work what was going on. I just said I needed some personal time. Nobody asked questions. I think they saw it in my face. Whatever it was, I wasn't in the mood to explain. On the 3rd day, I went back to the house to grab a few more clothes. I didn't tell Laura I was coming. I wasn't ready to see her yet. I thought she might be at work, but her car was in the driveway. When I walked in, the house smelled like her shampoo. I hadn't realized how much I'd associated that scent with comfort until now. Now it just made my stomach turn. She wasn't in the kitchen, but I heard movement upstairs. I went straight to the bedroom, grabbed a few shirts, a pair of jeans, and my shaving kit. I didn't touch the bed. On my way out, I saw her laptop open on the dining room table. I should have walked past it. I should have respected her privacy, even after everything. But I didn't. Something in me needed to know more. Needed to confirm that I wasn't crazy, that what I felt wasn't some overreaction. I clicked her email. It was already open. Her inbox wasn't full. She was the type to delete or archive everything. But one thread stood out. Subject line, Orlando follow-up. It was from him. Tom. No last name. Just a Gmail address. Probably one he created for this. The thread went back weeks. I still can't stop thinking about that first night. You were nervous. I love that. Your skin. That moment when you laughed and covered your mouth like you didn't want to be caught being happy. Are you okay? You seemed off after you got home. I didn't even know what to feel anymore. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked. I just felt heavy. But the worst part wasn't what he said. It was what she said back. I'm scared he knows something. He's quiet, distant. I think I hurt him more than I thought I would. I don't want to lose my marriage, Tom. That one hit me like a punch to the ribs. She didn't say she didn't want to lose me. She said she didn't want to lose the marriage. Like it was a contract, a convenience, a shelter, something separate from me entirely. I closed the laptop and walked out the door. Didn't even say goodbye. Back at the hotel, I stood under the shower for nearly an hour. Let the water hit my face until it ran cold. I kept thinking about that email. She was trying to keep both. Him for excitement, me for stability. I was the house, the family photos, the man who'd never once broken her trust. And he was the escape, the hotel room, the man she could send towel selfies to without worrying about the consequences. For a moment, I actually felt embarrassed. Like I was the fool in some joke everyone else was in on. But I wasn't laughing. I hadn't planned on telling the kids. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I thought I could protect them from it. Let them keep their image of their mom intact, untouched. Laura had made a mistake, a terrible one, but I didn't want our children to carry the weight of it. That decision was taken out of my hands. Emma called me 2 nights after I read the email. Her voice was quiet, cautious. Dad, can I ask you something? I was sitting in the car again, outside the same diner. I hadn't gone inside this time. Just sat there like I had the night before. It was becoming a habit, somewhere neutral, somewhere I didn't have to feel like someone's husband. Of course, I said. What's up? I talked to Mom today. I braced myself. Yeah, she was weird. Like, really weird. Said she was sorry for some things, but wouldn't say what. Then she started crying. Like, not normal crying. The kind where you're holding something in. I closed my eyes. She said she might have hurt you. Did she? I didn't answer right away. I couldn't. Emma continued. Dad, I don't want to get in the middle of something, but if something happened, I deserve to know. I'm not 12. You guys always said we should be honest in this family. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it hurt. Honesty. That word didn't mean the same thing it used to. I exhaled slowly and said, your mom made a mistake. A big one. And we're working through it. Emma was quiet for a while. Then she said something that stopped my heart. I think I heard her on the phone with someone when I visited in March. I thought it was just a friend, but the way she was talking, it felt off. She was in the laundry room. She didn't know I was home yet. My throat went dry. She said something like, I hate how I have to pretend all the time. I thought maybe she was just venting about work. But now she knew. She didn't say the word. Neither did I. But the truth was hanging there, between us, unspoken and undeniable. Dad, she said, her voice shaky, did she cheat on you? There it was. And all I could say was, yes. She didn't cry. I don't think she knew how to react. I could hear her breathing through the phone, deep, steady, trying to stay calm. I'm so sorry, she finally whispered. You didn't do anything, I said. I know. I didn't think she could do something like that. Neither did I, Em. Neither did I. The night after Emma called, I went back home. Not to stay, just to talk. Laura had been texting me. Nothing dramatic, just check-ins. Hope you're okay. Let me know if you need anything. Can we talk soon? I think she realized the silence was more dangerous than shouting. When I walked in, she was in the kitchen. Same place she'd been the morning I found out. She looked different, though. Smaller. Like part of her had deflated. She poured tea and asked if I wanted some. I didn't answer. We sat at the table like strangers. I waited. She finally spoke. I've been trying to write a letter, but everything sounds fake. Like I'm just trying to fix it, not own it. I said nothing. She looked up at me. Her eyes were swollen like she hadn't slept. I don't expect you to forgive me, Daniel. I don't even expect you to come back. But I need you to understand something. I leaned back, arms crossed. Guard up. I never stopped loving you, she said. Even when I was with him. Even when I was doing the worst things, I still thought about you. I still came home to you. That part was always real. That's when I felt it. That dangerous flicker. The part of me that wanted to believe her. Because if I believed that, if I believed she still loved me, then maybe I didn't lose everything. Maybe I wasn't just a fool. Maybe I was someone who got lost in the middle of a broken moment but still mattered in the end. But that's the thing about lies. The most damaging ones are the ones that feel almost true. I looked at her, and for a second I remembered everything good. Our first road trip. The night we brought Josh home from the hospital. The time she danced barefoot in the kitchen just to make me laugh after I lost my job. But then I remembered the email. I don't want to lose my marriage, Tom. Not me. I remembered the towel photo, the timestamps, the 8 months of deceit, and I realized something that made my chest tighten. She didn't love me while she was with him. She loved who I used to be to her. And that version of me, the one who trusted her completely, was gone now. I believe you think that's true, I said quietly. She didn't answer. I just don't know if that matters anymore. It was a Wednesday afternoon when it happened. I was back at work, moving through tasks like a ghost, nodding when people spoke, pretending to listen, pretending to care. I'd become good at that pretending. At lunch, I sat in the break room, scrolling through emails without reading them. Then I noticed a notification on my phone. One new voicemail, from an unknown number. I didn't think much of it. Probably spam. But I listened anyway. And the second I heard the voice, my stomach turned. Hey Laura, I don't know if you're ignoring me or what, but I've been thinking about you nonstop. I know things are messy right now, but God, I miss you. Please call me back. I can't stop replaying that last night. Then a pause. You didn't mean any of what you said before, right? You don't really regret it? Click. That was it. I just sat there, phone in my hand, every nerve in my body tense. That was him, Tom. And he didn't realize he left the message on my phone. I don't know how it happened. Maybe he mixed up the numbers. Maybe she gave him mine by accident at some point. Or maybe, on some unconscious level, she wanted it to get to me. Whatever the reason, I had it now. Proof that it wasn't over. Proof that he thought she still wanted him. I didn't play it again. I didn't have to. I walked out of the office. Told my assistant I had a family emergency. Drove aimlessly for nearly 2 hours, trying to figure out what it meant. The voice message wasn't just a message, it was a window into a world I hadn't been part of. A world that existed in parallel to mine, running quietly beneath the surface of our marriage. That night, I texted Laura and said, "We need to talk." She invited me over, said she was ready to answer anything. So I went. I played her the voicemail, watched her face as it played. She didn't cry. She didn't deny it. She just sat there, lips pressed into a thin line, like she was forcing herself not to crumble. When it ended, she looked at me and said, "I haven't spoken to him since I told you. I blocked him. That must have been an old number. He thinks you still want him." I said. "I don't," she whispered. "I swear." "But he doesn't know that," I said. "And that tells me something." She tilted her head slightly. "It tells me you didn't make it clear." A week after the voicemail, I drove to San Diego. It wasn't planned. I just got in the car and started going. 6 hours of asphalt, radio static, and way too many what-ifs bouncing around in my head. That's where she first met him. She told me they crossed paths at a radiology conference there last fall. Said it started with dinner, then drinks, then more. She made it sound like a brief lapse, a one-time thing that somehow spiraled. But by now I knew better. The lie wasn't in the details. It was in the whole framing. I didn't go there looking for him. I didn't even know his last name. I went there for something else. To stand in the place where my marriage quietly died. I stayed in a hotel 2 blocks from the convention center. It was strange. I'd been to San Diego with Laura once, years ago. We'd walked along the harbor, eaten street tacos on the pier, made jokes about retiring near the beach someday. And now, the same streets made my skin crawl. I went to the exact hotel where her conference had been, walked through the lobby. I didn't ask questions. I just observed, sat in a chair by the bar, watched business travelers in press suits and name tags talk too closely to strangers, laughed too hard, took work calls in corners. I imagined her here, maybe in this lobby, maybe in that elevator, maybe sitting where I sat now, texting me goodnight while Tom sat across from her. And something cracked, because in that moment, I realized this didn't just happen. It didn't sneak up on her. It wasn't just loneliness or me being distant. She chose this. Again and again. She made space for it, protected it, grew it. I walked out of the hotel and stood by the water for a long time. Seagulls circling overhead, kids laughing behind me, tourists taking selfies. None of them had any idea a man was quietly mourning the loss of a 23-year marriage right in their periphery. I called Josh that night. He was the one I hadn't talked to yet. I didn't want to burden him. He was in college, trying to live his own life, but I couldn't carry it alone anymore. "Dad," he answered. "Everything okay?" "Not really," I said. He listened, didn't interrupt. When I told him, there was a long silence. Then just one question. "Are you going to leave her?" I said, "I don't know." And I meant it, because for all the anger, all the betrayal, I still missed her. I still looked at her sometimes and saw the woman I built my life with. But I also saw someone else now, someone I wasn't sure I could ever fully trust again. When I hung up, I sat on the edge of the bed and realized this story wasn't just about what she did. It was about what I was going to do now. 2 weeks later, Laura asked me to come home. Not permanently, just for dinner. She said she wanted to talk. No pressure, no expectations. Just the two of us. One conversation. I said yes. Not because I knew what I was going to do, but because after 23 years, I thought she deserved to hear whatever came next face to face. When I got there, she had set the table. Real plates. Candles. Not romantic, just careful, thoughtful. I noticed she'd cooked my favorite dish. Grilled salmon, roasted potatoes, green beans. She was trying, and that almost made it worse. We ate mostly in silence. I could tell she was waiting for a moment to speak. I gave her that moment. "I know I've said I'm sorry," she began, "but I need you to know I mean it. Not just sorry for hurting you. I'm sorry for lying, for disrespecting what we had, for acting like it didn't matter while still pretending it did." I looked at her hands. They were shaking slightly. "I know I lost your trust, and I don't expect to get it back quickly, if at all. But if there's even a chance, Daniel, if there's a thread left between us, I'll hold on to it as long as you let me." I didn't respond right away, because that part of me, the old reflex to make things easier, to protect her, to smooth it over, was still there. But another part of me had grown louder, stronger. The part that knew this wasn't about comfort. It was about truth. So I said, I believe you're sorry. She looked up. I saw something spark in her eyes. But I don't know if that changes anything. The spark dimmed. I've thought about this a lot. And the truth is, I don't want to live in a marriage where I have to doubt the person sleeping next to me. I don't want to check your phone. I don't want to wonder where you are every time you go out of town. She opened her mouth to speak, but I kept going. I've lost something I don't think I can get back. And I'm tired of pretending I might. Her voice cracked. Are you saying it's over? I took a breath. I'm saying I don't know who you are anymore. And maybe I never did. She cried then, quietly. Not dramatic, not performative. Just tears she couldn't hold back. I watched her cry, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel like I had to carry it. I stood up, grabbed my coat. Take care of yourself, Laura. And I walked out, not with anger, not with bitterness, just a strange, heavy peace. That was 8 months ago. I have my own place now. It's small, quiet, and I'm still getting used to sleeping alone. Some days I feel okay. Some days I feel wrecked. But every day, I feel like I'm living honestly again. Emma visits often. Josh calls every Sunday. They still love their mom. I haven't told them not to. I never will. Laura reached out a few times. I didn't block her, but I haven't responded either. Maybe one day we'll talk again. Maybe not. The truth is, I still love her in some ways. But I love myself now too. And that's the part one won't lose again.